Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the mental health space. So, from the previous video, you'll recall I wasn't sure on which topic to select for the second video. So, I mentioned it could either be anxiety, substance abuse, or suicide. So, I decided to go with suicide. So, today's topic is raising awareness on suicide because it's real, it's really happening, it's something that our society is faced with, right? And yeah, um, so let's just get into it. I know it's a touchy subject for some people, but I think the more awareness we raise on these kind of mental health issues, the better chance we stand in fighting them and removing the stigma that surrounds these mental health related issues. So, suicide, what is suicide? It's generally when someone wants to take their own life, right? Or when someone takes their own life. So, we have completed suicide. This is unfortunately when someone is successful in taking their own life. We have suicide attempt. So, when someone attempts to take their life and then they survive, like a failed suicide. And then we have suicidal ideation, which is when someone is thinking about or they are wanting to take their own life, right? So, suicide is basically associated with any psychiatric illness, any mental health condition. It's also associated with life events and family events, right? So, with suicide, we have active suicidal ideation and passive suicidal ideation. So with active suicidal ideation, the person is not only thinking about taking their own life, but they intend on doing it. So they mostly have a plan. So they know when they want to do it, where they want to do it, and how they want to do it. Right? With passive suicidal ideation, this is when someone is basically just wishing or thinking that they could die, wishing that they were dead. But they don't really have a plan. It's just a persistent thought. I beg your pardon. Right? So there are a number of possible causes, or we could say risk factors for suicide, right? So like I said earlier on, it's associated with psychiatric illnesses. It is a risk factor. So like bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, PTSD, for example. Substance abuse is also a risk factor. So an alcoholic, a drug abuser, someone who's addicted to gambling, um, another risk factor could be unbearable emotional or physical pain, family issues, stress, unemployment, financial issues, relationships, and breakups. So these are just some possible causes or some risk factors, right, for suicide. And then signs of suicide, there are a number of signs. I'm only going to mention a few, but there's a whole list of signs that could suggest that maybe someone is feeling suicidal or someone wants to take their own life, right? So, for example, excessive sadness or moodiness, right? Um, but you also find people who attempt suicide, but the person did not show any negative mood. So this person was happy all this time, they were their normal jolly bubbly self, and then all of a sudden this person is trying to take their own life. So just because someone is not moody or sad, it doesn't mean that they may not be at risk for suicide. We have people who always have feelings of hopelessness, people sleeping problems, people who are withdrawn, socially, so from family, from friends, from work. But it also doesn't mean that it's only people that are withdrawn that may show signs of wanting to take their own life, because like I said, even those happy social people may be at risk of taking their own life. You could also notice changes in a person's appearance or personality. They normally engage in self-harm behavior, so harming, self-harming, engaging in very dangerous activity. Some people make preparations. They prepare to say goodbye, so spending as much time as they can with their family and friends, giving away their stuff and stuff like that. Obviously, the most obvious one is someone threatening suicide, which is a sign of suicide. It could also be recent traumatic experiences or a life crisis. So that's just some of the signs. It's not all of them, but it's just some of them that you can actually look out for, right? Okay, so what do you do when you know someone who is threatening suicide, or someone who is talking about suicide, right? So I would say get as much information as you can. So find out why, when, how they're gonna do it, the way they're gonna do it, and don't judge the person, right? Don't make them feel bad, because remember, this person is going through something that is so bad, they feel like the only way out is through taking their own life. So there's no room for judgment. Be supportive, engage in conversation, find out as many details as you can. You know, take the threats and the signs very seriously, because also engaging in conversation with this person after they reveal this to you can help you figure out how severe the situation is, or how suicidal this person really is. So my tip, just before I end the video, so whether you're a friend, a family member, a colleague, a classmate, it doesn't matter, right? I would say, to help you manage the situation better, because when someone says, I'm gonna overdose on pills, I'm gonna hang myself, your first reaction, which is normal, is you panicking, right? So if you have these details, the why, when, how, and where, I would also say it's important to know where the person stays or where the person is. So at least know this person's address, so that if needed, if you need to get the ambulance or you need to get the police and you don't stay with that person, or you don't stay close to that person, you are able to provide this kind of information. Also, have at least one contact details of one family member or two family members of this person, so that if something goes wrong, you can alert someone who's in closer proximity to this person, right? Maybe they live in the same house, or they live in the same neighborhood, right? A mutual friend, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, someone that they are close to, have their contact details, right? Because this also helps you, because you may not be in close proximity with this person. It will help you to notify someone who can actually go there and try to help this person and handle the situation, right? Like I said, if you need to call the police or the ambulance, you have something to work with. So yes, guys, I'm gonna put some more links down in the description box, so you can just go read up more there. I'm gonna put down websites of organizations you can contact if you need any assistance, if you need any sort of support, or if you are the person who's been feeling this kind of way and you feel like you don't have anywhere to turn to. These resources can really help you. So that's it for this video. Like I said in the previous one, if there is anything that you would like me to briefly cover, because this is just a short awareness thing and just sharing information and resources, let me know and I will work on it as best as I can. And so thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope you guys will be looking forward to my next video. Bye, guys.